workshop because we have Sue with us. I've worked with Sue Strickmeyer-Nutzman for years on various leadership trainings and different things that we've worked with through Extension primarily. But Sue has worked all her life on intergenerational dialogue type of issues, and she's written a lot of papers. She's given many, many, many presentations on why sometimes when we communicate, we don't communicate well with the different generations. And so I'm just going to turn it over to Sue. This is Sue's afternoon. I think you're going to have just a great time. So I'm glad you could all come.
Well, it's very nice to be here with you, and I'm excited about the kinds of things that you're doing because entrepreneurship, I think, really is the key to the future for a lot of communities. I'm going to ask each table to send somebody up. We're going to do a little football activity to start. So send up a team captain. Okay, the person with football is the team captain. And the team captain is going to be in charge of starting and ending with this football. And so here's the object. The object is to get the ball from the captain to everybody else on your team and back to the captain as fast as you can. And we're going to have a contest to see which team can go fastest. And Phyllis and Deb, if you'd want to join this team. Now wait a minute, let me tell you the other rules. The captain has to touch it first and last, but you only have to touch it with one hand. Everybody else has to touch it, but you have to touch it with both hands. Only one person can touch it at a time, and it has to be either in the air or touching one of you at all times, so you can't just set it down. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes to practice. You can move. Oh, absolutely. You can get up. You can stand up. Okay, I'm going to count to 3 when I say go. When I say go, team captain, you start it, and then team captain, you shout to me when you get it back. On your mark, get set, go. Yes! Well, and you've got a bigger table too. Okay, let's see how you did it. Let's start back here. What was your strategy? How'd you do it? Okay. And you kind of tipped it from one to the next. Okay. And how did your group do it?
We just did simple. Yeah, we weren't ready. We were slow back here. Actually, going to actually be very similar to this in my class, but the rules aren't exactly the same, so I was trying to figure out how to...
The change in the rules. Okay. Okay.
So we just passed it.
All right. All right. Well, I can tell you all of you started better than most business people do. Most business people stand about 10 feet apart and throw it to each other first. And then they figure out that nothing in the rules says you have to stand that far apart. So, and some of you got right together right away. How did you do it? You went really fast. But only one person can touch it at a time. Oh. But that was a very interesting strategy. Okay, let's have a little demonstration up here. Okay, watch this. Oh, he's been with the Huskers too long. He caught it last time. And what they did was they just allowed gravity to do a little bit of the work. And once in a while in entrepreneurship, we get so caught up in getting all the work done that we forget sometimes things will fall into place if we've done a good job managing. Okay, how many of you know somebody who just started high school? How many of you are somebody who just started high school? Okay. How many of you know somebody who would like to retire in the next 5 years? Okay. Oh, no. Extension educators can't retire. Who watched Sesame Street as a child? Okay. Anybody watch Ding Dong School as a child? Yeah. That was kind of way before Sesame Street. Anybody who's gone cow tipping or snipe hunting? Oh, this whole table back here, that worries me a little bit. What do you guys do with your class? Anybody who has actually eaten Spam? Okay. And who grew up operating a mouse? Okay. And who sings Hannah Montana songs? All right. Oh, we may have you perform later. I've got some reminders for you today. Generational differences are just one form of difference or diversity, and you know that. We have gender, we have personality. All of you know probably your learning style. They're more apparent when we hold all of those constant. So what we're going to look at today are the differences you would see if everything else was kept the same. Also, I'd like to mention that there's more difference within generations than there is between generations frequently. So there's, in many cases, more similarity than there is difference. How many of you have spent a lot of time with your grandparents? Anybody? Okay. If you have or if you did, you're likely to be a spanner, and so that means you can probably function the way your generation functions as well as the way their generation functions. Well, here is the way the generations break down. If you were born between 1903 or before, you're a centenarian. Do we have any centenarians? No. 1904 to 1924 are matures. 1925 to 45 are World War II generation. 1946 to 64 are baby boomers. 65 to 81 are Generation Xers. 82 to 94 are Generation Y. And 95 and later are Generation Z. And I'm guessing we've got a pretty good mix in here. Can I just ask for show of hands, how many Generation Zers do we have? Yay, okay. And Generation Yers? Okay. And Generation Xers? Okay. They're not holding their hands up as high. And baby boomers? Okay. And World War II generation? Okay. Oh, I saw those hands go up for a second. I thought, no, I don't think he's a World War II generation. A couple of things I might mention about this. This is your age in '09 when you have your birthday, so if you haven't had your birthday yet, you'll be a year younger. And the percentage of European Americans is listed there. Notice how that's really changed as we've gotten to younger and younger generations. And those are US statistics. Well, the world has changed, and I'm going to ask you to find a partner, or you could work in a group of 3, but you need one person who's at least 10 years older than some of the other people on the team. So you need probably a high school or junior high person or middle school, and then one adult. And grab a piece of paper and grab a pencil. And you need just one pencil and one paper for each partnership. And you don't have to partner with somebody from your own community. It would be a good idea to kind of mix tables a little bit. Everybody have a partner? And you can have a group of 3. Just be sure there's one adult in the group, because you're going to need their experience. Okay, first thing I'm going to ask you to do is jot down 3 things about school that have changed in the past 10 years. And so probably the students in your group are going to be able to see some of that. But your adult may have some perspective on that too. So 3 things that have changed about school. Once you've got that, 3 things that have changed about our homes in the last 10 years. Okay? School, homes. Okay, let's see what you came up with. What has changed at school in the last 10 years? Deb, let's have something from your group. No pop machines, okay. And how about the group back here by the window? Blackboards, oh yeah. Blackboards and old dusty chalk. We don't have too many of those left anymore. How about back here at this table? Okay. Okay, single parent families, absolutely. And how about this group over here? All kinds of technology changes. And how about this group over here? What was that? The curriculum? What's changed in the curriculum? It got harder? Okay, more choices, okay. And did we get one from your side of the table? Okay, say that real loud. Multimedia classes. Even 10 years ago, we wouldn't have had multimedia classes. Even 5 years ago, probably just starting. What's changed at home? Let's start over here. Internet? How many of you remember getting your first internet? Okay. And some of you may be young enough that it was kind of always there. Yeah. How about up here?
The jobs are a lot easier now. We have a lot of electricity here. Just push the button.
Okay, okay. Okay. So we don't have to make everything from a recipe and
Manual, old-fashioned way to do.
yeah, yeah. Deb, how about with your group? What's changed at home? Okay. Okay. Anybody know somebody with a flat screen TV? Did you know anybody with a flat screen TV 5 years ago? Maybe 10 years ago? Probably not. Okay. Okay, we'll get around to everybody. The world has definitely changed, and I'm going to ask you to imagine, I'll give you one set of these, and I'm going to ask you to imagine what the second one's going to be next time. When did blackberries become blackberries? When did being green becoming green? When did closing windows become closing windows? And I have to tell you a funny story about that. My husband used to work at UNL and helped farmers and ranchers with their records. And very early on, with the really old computers, he had a person who called in and they said, well, we need you to walk us through this process. And Wade said, well, the first thing you need to do is close windows. And then there was nobody there for a while. And Wade thought they'd lost connection, and pretty soon the person came back and said, okay, I've got the windows closed, now what? And Wade said, no, I mean on your computer. Well, they kind of went along for a little while, and then the person said, they figured out that they weren't quite on the same page. And then the person said, you know, this is kind of a cheap old computer anyway, I hate this cup holder. And Wade said, cup holder? Mine doesn't have a cup holder. Well, you know the CD-ROM? It doesn't hold a mug very well, as it turns out. So we're not always speaking the same language. When did getting serious become getting serious? When did boot become boot? When did Twitter and tweets become Twitter and tweets? Any of you Twitter? Okay. And when did bailout become bailout? Just a reminder, anytime you're working with somebody who's 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years older than you are, remember that they may not embrace change as quickly as a younger person does, and it's not that they can't, it's just that they've seen a lot of changes. And they've been through all the changes that a younger person has been through, plus 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 more years of changes.